Let's explore Brisbane City and beyond with some of the best lookout points that I think are worth mentioning. If you were to ask any local, they'll probably just send you to Mount Cootha, and honestly, it's probably one of the first places I would send you to. However, you can choose from plenty more with Brisbane City views and even more beyond the city in the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Plus, if you need to know where they are, I'll have a blog post in the description below with a pinned map. So let's get to it. Kangaroo Point or Kangaroo Point Cliffs is known for many reasons. In addition to being a lookout point, it has some abseiling down the cliffs, walk along the river to South Bank, a cafe for catching up and outdoor exercising. Especially at night, there is a brilliant lookout across the river and a lovely cityscape of the CBD. Alternatively, you have the city light water reflections that make it a common photography location. The Wilson Outlook Reserve has long been the best views for the Story Bridge in the city, especially for photographers. Just so you know that parking can be limited down here, but there are side streets to choose from. It's only a small, grassy park with a few tables and chairs, but you won't regret seeing the changing colours or reflections from the bridge. Surprisingly, each night you visit will be different. On the city side of the Brisbane River, you have one of the newest lookouts in Brisbane. This is the Skydeck platform, sitting right on top of the Queen's Precinct and the new Brisbane Star Casino. Surprisingly, it's free to enter and you can use the lifts to get up there. It contains a bar for drinks and light snacks, seating, and a crescent-shaped deck with amazing views. There's even a see-through bridge where you can watch for the traffic below. The clock tower is at City Hall, located in the centre of town. The best way to get there would be by public transport, and an ideal way to enjoy old-style architecture. Visiting the clock tower is free, but you do need to book as there are limited spaces and it can get busy. The tour takes only 15 minutes and runs roughly every 45 minutes throughout the day. While it's not a high lookout point, New Farm Park is your garden scene with the high-rise buildings in the distance. Plan for a picnic, relax on the grass in the sun, or walk along the water's edge, or view the manicured lawns. It's one way of seeing Brisbane City omitting the rush of the capital city rat race. Plus, the parking can be better to find here too. At some stage, you'll need to find your way to the Mount Cootha Summit Lookout. Not only is this spot great in the day, but the city nightscapes with lights and even the firework festivals are also great from here. There are plenty of parking spaces and a cafe for snacks and ice creams. Additionally, locals like myself will use Mount Cootha for exercising with some of the best hiking trails in town, including my favourite, the popular JC Slaughter Falls Summit Track. The Wheel of Brisbane just happens to be one of the best activities in South Bank. You have views across the river in the city and it's really great during the day or night with the city lights. While it may not be the highest point, the 60 metres will generally be in your own enclosure and local commentary about the area. You can even purchase different packages for VIP sessions and romantic date nights. The Mount Gravatt Outlook would have to be the second most popular lookout to visit. Like Mount Cootha, you have the restaurant, a brilliant view of the city and walking tracks. However, it's probably not as big as Mount Cootha. There are plenty of parking spaces, but I still had trouble getting one for brunch on a Thursday, so plan ahead. The best way to take in the Brisbane River and city views is undoubtedly at the terrace at the Emporium Hotel. This is alternative to the Wheel of Brisbane and comes with an open-air bar and balcony, as well as catering for bigger groups. Situated right on the river and a stone's throw away from the hustle and bustle of downtown, this terrace offers a fantastic perspective with panoramic and mesmerising views of the city skyline. I've climbed the Story Bridge a couple of times over the years during the day and while watching a sunset. While the experience is unique on its own, the uninterrupted 360-degree views from this angle are stunning and one of a kind. If you think you need a lot of fitness to climb the stairs, don't fret, because it doesn't. Your guide will offer lots of breaks and have a slow schedule for you to take it all in. Walking over the Gateway Bridge is a great way to start the day, but traffic can make it a little noisy. You have a nice wide path allowing both walkers and bike riders from the north side of town to south, or vice versa. It's free to access this track, but the motorised vehicle need to pay a toll. Views are guarded and slightly restricted, but very high and best for a morning sunrise. The walking path is facing east and looking towards the ocean, as opposed to the city. What about beachside views and witnessing a Pascal shaded sunset over the water? The Seabull rooftop bar in Margate is always on my list when looking for activities in Redcliffe. This is open to everyone, not just the hotel guests, and I've never needed to book. You can imagine sitting here with a nice cold drink while watching the waves roll in from the Moreton Bay region. The Wivenhoe Dam wall or spillway isn't really a lookout for views, but it's easy to see the mechanics of the dam wall. If you're lucky to visit at the right time, you might be able to see the dam releasing and all the water pumping out at high pressure. The Tambourine Skywalk is an interesting highlight of the Tambourine Mountain region. It can be very popular to visit on the weekends. This includes the day trippers from the Gold Coast and obviously from Brisbane. You can stroll among the treetops and admire the rainforest views through the forest. Stroll through the winding paths, different canopies, and the cantilever bridge, granting you a magnificent aspect of the area that you can't generally walk through. O'Reilly's Rainforest Retreat has two different lookout points you can check out. The Mountain View Cafe is easy to access from the car park or the retreat. It's essentially your starting point for supplies before hiking through the UNESCO World Heritage listed national park. Tourists will drive up for the views of the mountains and subtropical rainforests. You'll also see the mist rolling in, adding another aspect to the scenes. The cafe supplies basic breakfast and lunch menus on the weekend and is always a big visitor favourite. Apart from the cafe area, the O'Reilly's Treetop Walk is only a short distance from the car park and contained within a nicely formed boardwalk path. This leads into the suspension bridges and walking 30 metres above the ground. Not only that, but you can climb up higher through the enclosed ladder to the Lamington National Park viewpoint. Personally, I feel the lookout isn't that spectacular, but the treetop walk itself is always worth it. It takes slightly more effort to get over to the Gorge Walk and will require a day trip to North Stradbroke Island, but worth it all the same and one of my favourite viewpoints. What's so good about strolling along the Gorge Walk? Well, the beach and gorge scenes are unbelievable and often met with exciting wildlife along the way. This includes local kangaroos in the bush, turtles, dolphins and manta rays in the water, and the migrating humpback whales in the distance. If you're looking for one of the easiest lookouts in the Glasshouse Mountains, then this would be your go-to. There is a car park right beside the lookout, but if it's full, you only have to walk a couple of minutes down the road. From here, you can admire the magnificent volcanic plugs that make up this iconic mountain range. The lookout not only provides awe-inspiring vistas, but also features a short nature walk and barbecues with covered picnic tables for a truly unique experience. If you're searching for the absolute best views on the Sunshine Coast, then I really love the Mount Nung Nung summit hike. This is higher than the Glasshouse Mountains lookout just mentioned, but will require a 40-minute walk to get to the top. From the top, you will be in awe as you gaze over the surrounding Glasshouse Mountains, and on a clear day, you can even see the ocean and the city high-rise buildings. The Gold Coast has some stunning beachside views, but the best one comes from Sky Point, which is your highest observation deck in the Southern Hemisphere. It stands 322 metres tall with the observation deck on level 77, and surprisingly it only takes 40 seconds in the lift to get you there. As you walk around the edge of the window, you'll eventually see 360 degrees through the Gold Coast beaches, waterways and hinterland area. You can go that one step further and take the challenge of walking outside and around the top of the building in the Sky Point Climb experience. I think Queen Mary Falls is one of the best and biggest waterfalls in South East Queensland. It'll take a couple of hours to reach it from Brisbane, but in terms of easy to access to see it and the size, it's well worth it. The lookout offers gorgeous views of the waterfall, which flows 30 metres down into the canyon below. Even better that you can reach the 2 lookout points within a few hundred metres. Hurlingbrook Falls would have to be one of the more popular waterfalls in the Springbrook National Park. Once again, you can access either of the 2 lookout points within a few hundred metres off the car park. This is on each side of the falls. This is part of the Gondwana region, UNESCO World Heritage listed along with the Lamington National Park. But now that we've had the best lookouts in the region sorted, you can click here for the video and find out other things to do in Brisbane. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you for the next one.